Okay, that was Attack on Titan, Season 3, Episode 16.
The last 2 episodes ended with a similar word being brought up. The same word, said by both sides, and that is cruel. When Bert Holt jumped up into the air last episode to choose to turn into the Colossal Titan in that moment, his last words were that this was all just cruel. And Erwin says the same thing.
That episode was cruel. It's hard to, the 2 things that I wrote down. I only wrote down 2 things, and they're both so lighthearted that it seems hard to talk about because of how hopeless and, not how dark this has gone.
I want a specific line during Erwin's speech at the end for their deaths to be for the living to find meaning in their deaths. I think it's right after this. Would you say that their lives,
our fallen comrades, their lives,
were they meaningless? And he
No,
says,
they weren't.
no, they weren't. It is us who gives meaning to our comrades' lives. The brave, the fallen, the anguished fallen. The ones who will remember them are us, the living. We die trusting the living who follow to find meaning in our lives. You know what that reminds me of? Ilse's Notebook.
Yeah.
She died hoping that someone would find meaning in her last words that she made sure to write down
writing.
in that notebook. She died sending a message to the living who would follow in hopes that they would find meaning in her death.
You're right.
And her last words. And I'm pretty sure they show Ilse in the background of one of the shots when it's all of the fallen, when Erwin's talking to Levi, not when he's giving the speech. And I'm pretty sure Ilse is in the background, included as one of the fallen.
It was one of the best lines in the entire show that you just read. That was such a deep cutting line.
It's the third wave of people in the background. Obviously, behind Levi is all of his people when they show him. But there's a close-up of some of them. See, in the background, isn't that Ilse?
It looks a lot like Ilse, and that's a great catch. That's an awesome catch.
It was where my eyes went.
Yeah.
And I think that it's perfect to show her here when I think that her OVA is the perfect example of Erwin's ending speech and their ending plan.
That's such a good point. That's so good. The guy on the right looks like Tristan from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, I don't want to laugh right now. I don't want Marlo to die right now. Not that I obviously don't want Erwin to die, especially not. But for Marlo to... Maybe that's what this is supposed to be. Maybe Marlo was a device for us to feel more emotional about the idea of these new scouts who saw the honor of changing their military job and changing to join the scouts because they saw hope in actually defeating the Titans, and hope in Eren, and hope in the scouts actually being able to free humanity. And they are new to this. They joined out of hope and excitement. Obviously, we know that is different for our main group that we follow. Eren, Mikasa, Jean, all of them joined the scouts knowing with hopelessness that there was no hope to the scouts. I mean, the only examples we had of the scouts coming home, they were coming home with carts of the dead. And these scouts
were sent off with cheers.
They had the hope that there was a Titan among them that could fight in front of them. That this was just, they were in the position with the horses where this was their first mission and they are just here to observe and learn how to be a scout. I'm pretty sure Jean even says to Marlo, take this opportunity that we didn't get, where you can actually just observe and have your first mission where you see what it's really like. And you see Titans for the first time, where our group didn't get that, and they are survivors. They were thrown into this fight, and now that's actually what happened to the new recruits as well.
I'm sorry, but this is it. Like, imagine if they did what Levi said, and they took whatever they could and tried to get at least some of them home. Nobody's ever going to want to be a scout again.
You're really right about that. I didn't even think about that. That it would basically... a few of them returning home would basically just kind of ruin the future of fighting back.
This is it.
This is almost a last stand of these are the people that are willing to fight. And that's it. Because obviously after all that hope, the new recruits, if you give people hope and those are the people that join, no one else is going to join after that because they already didn't when there was no hope and they didn't when there was hope.
Yep.
So these are the people you got, and these are the only people you got until other people come of age to be able to join the scouts.
And
but that would be years.
I don't know if I'd want to if this
was
the last mission.
Yeah, and how fight with a bunch of just new young recruits every single time. They're all going to just die.
Yeah.
You're losing all of your seasoned veterans. Your people who, I mean, that was like 3 of Erwin's other main squads just got decimated. And we don't know about Hanji's squad. So 4 of Erwin's squads other than Levi's squad.
I don't know. I wonder if Aaron could like make a cage out of crystal stuff to put the giant colossal titan in.
I don't know if he could create one big enough. It would probably take everything out of him.
What about like handcuffs or like
handcuffs?
Shackles.
Baseball.
Okay, we'll get there. If we're gonna start with the positive stuff, let's start with the Connie thing, okay? Just
the positive stuff.
Yeah. So like if Connie made like a pun here in Japanese that since we don't speak fluent Japanese, understand? We don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
But it sounds like Jaeger.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily understand what the joke is.
I think...
What does eavesdropping mean?
When you eavesdrop on someone?
Yeah, like why is that eavesdropping?
The house is dropping, and it also is a word that sounds like his last name. It's. I don't think it's a far reach to think that could be a pun that would make a little more sense. No, I get you. I get that you're thinking.
It's obviously it doesn't work completely because it is not.
Yeah.
English, that I don't understand it perfectly, or I don't get the joke, I guess. Normally I think I get the joke, but I don't. I get what they're doing, I think. If we're right.
Yeah, we totally could just not be. But
no.
I don't feel comfortable that the orangutan knows what baseball is. Is there a Titan baseball league?
Remember when we first started this show and I wondered if this was just a dystopian, but it took place in a more modern society than the Titans happening, so everything regressed and people went off to have their own little civilizations. And obviously this one got their minds wiped and were started fresh, without technology. Wow, that's a great point. So it could be that the civilization that Reiner, Annie, Berthold, and the Beast Titan come from is closer to maybe the age that we are in and know.
And even if they're not, they would still have the history and the terminology of all of that past history on Earth.
Baseball's been around for a while. So even if it wasn't like current day.
I'm astounded. I never thought I'd hear the orangutan talk about first pitches and perfect games. Yeah. It was definitely one of the most surreal, like, holy shit moments to see everyone be decimated by the initial pitch.
I didn't realize what was happening at first. I was like, how are just the big boulders doing that? But the fact that he crushes them before throwing them, crazy.
It's horrifying. I don't know how you beat the Colossal Titan. Part of me hopes Hanji's going to come out of the woodworks and have an idea, or Armin can.
Well, that would be kind of perfect. I mean, right now, where we are on the other side of the wall is that we're all kind of just like stuck waiting for Armin to have a brilliant idea because there are no other ideas.
Yeah.
And that puts tons of pressure on Armin because whatever he tells them to do could possibly kill all of them. They are the ones that could flee.
Yeah.
They could leave. I mean, if they're not going to. They're not going to run away. But
dude, the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan are both conscious and both there right now. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. Like,
it's almost like their only options are we could all live by retreating and being horrible people and cowards, or we could have come up with a plan. And I don't know what it's going to take what's going to trigger a plan in Armin, because it seems like he either needs to be observant of something, he needs to notice something, he needs to be a memory needs to be triggered for him to think of something. I don't know what it's going to take and what's going to happen to have him think of a plan right now. But he needs to, and the pressure is ramping up. I mean, we keep getting the same shot of his face in this paralyzed, I don't know what to do face.
Yep.
And we've been getting it as like basically his only expression, and it's really been close up on him for 2 episodes now, basically.
I think that the mid-roll might give us an idea potentially of what to do.
Oh?
If you want to read it.
I would love to read it. The Colossal Titan's steam. A Titan's special powers are produced by using its own body as a resource. In that way, it is thought that the steam emitted by the Colossal Titan consumes muscle tissue and therefore must be finite.
Maybe you like out-stamina it. If you continue to make it use steam, then there could potentially be a cap for how much it can use, and then it would fall to the ground.
Oh.
Because it wouldn't have any muscle tissue. Maybe. I'm looking for any hope at the moment.
I guess I can connect using its own body to Reiner basically using his own body to survive.
Yeah.
Instead of just his head, he's using his own body. It's very creative as a resource.
Aaron's like out for the count on top of...
He was really knocked out. KO.
Yeah.
As soon as the legs started picking up, I was like, ooh, that is not where you want to be.
Yeah.
And Mikasa, this was like one of the first times I've seen Mikasa be worried about Eren, but I've never seen her seem worried about their situation.
Yeah.
Or her own life. And it seemed here like she was like, oh shit, we're all gonna die.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's the first thing that she's come to that she can't handle or has no possibility of handling alone.
Yeah.
God, this episode was incredibly emotional and captivating. I love the plan for Levi to follow the Titans around to assassinate the Beast Titan.
Very creative. I would not have thought of this. But I like that he's killing them on the way.
I can't imagine he's going to assassinate it. I can't imagine the Beast Titan going down that easy.
I can't imagine him getting very far in the circle.
Without him knowing?
Without the Beast Titan realizing and then ordering the Titans that are... Because right now, that one dies because it's ordered to just stand there.
Yeah.
And so once the Beast Titan orders them to not just stand there, they're all going to react to Levi and fight against him. And then all he's using is their bodies.
We talked a couple episodes ago if the acknowledgement that Erwin had of him expressing his selfishness and the only thing he wants to do is see the basement, if that is putting him in the grave before he can do that, like from like a literary point, and it kind of seems like that's happening.
It's interesting that he says that. It's almost like in that moment he's telling Levi to make the decision.
Yeah.
And Levi was like, well, this is what I would do. Sacrifice your dream and your life, basically.
Yeah. It seems like...
And he does it.
It seems like he's alive right now.
At the moment, he's hit in the side.
Yeah.
And his horse has been hit, which I feel very bad about, obviously. But I don't think that's enough to kill Erwin in this
I think he's like out,
situation.
like, but I don't think he's dead just yet.
I just can't see Erwin not being there for the basement. I can't see it. I don't know. It could happen, but I just can't see it. I know, especially because he talked about, you know how they say that, like, oh, well, wouldn't him talking about it and him not getting to see the basement make you think that he's, like, making it come true here? But, like, doesn't it also make you think that, what if it's the reverse and he said he's not going to see it, but then he gets to, because we think he's not going to?
Maybe.
What mind games are being played right now, narratively?
Yeah, they have us where they want us. I thought even for a second, maybe Erwin comes face to face with the Beast Titan and then he can have his questions answered that way.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't seem likely at the moment.
And I also feel like you need Hanji if you're going to the basement.
Oh, I don't think Hanji's dead. There's no shot.
I know, I'm just saying, like, all of these people, I expected them to be there when the door of the basement was opened.
Good episode. I'm captivated. It's emotional. The visuals are great. I'm like excited but like sad at the same time moving forward to see like characters that I love just unfortunately but makes sense why get killed. They
definitely tricked me in this episode. I thought the plan was going to be to use the syringe. Since we kept talking, they kept saying, Levi, like bringing up Levi, and then you're going to have to do something. And then he was like, I'm going to make a choice. And it all was tricking me into thinking that using that was going to be the last ditch plan if they're all going to die. And that's what he meant by we're going to sacrifice all the soldiers and stuff.
Well, then let's put our hope in that Zeke is a noob and he's an easy kill. And right before we kill him and he can't move anymore, Erwin's on his deathbed and Levi injects Erwin with the Titan thing and turns into a Titan and then eats Zeke. And then Erwin can become a Titan and he's alive still.
Killing the Beast Titan and or becoming a Titan right next to him to the point where you would then fight him and then having other people kind of render him unable to fight so that you can eat him is the best possible use of the syringe right now.
At the moment,
Because I don't want them to eat Reiner and I don't want them to eat Berthold and you wouldn't want to eat Ymir and obviously not Eren, and
narratively, no chance in hell it's going to happen. Zeke's not dying here. I don't think so either. But I don't know. Not sure.
Why do they have to make me emotional? I don't want Marlowe and all these new scouts to basically be doing a suicide charge. It does not feel good.
Marlowe was like he had no reason to be as stoic and like handling the situation as well as he was in that situation.
I'm not surprised he handled it well based on his personality and the character that they've created for him.
But it's a devastating situation to be in, and he still handled it remarkably well.
Do we see him when they're all charging and they are starting to get hit? I just want to make sure that we don't see him getting hit or anything. Okay, he's right behind Erwin, and then the other guy that's kind of the main one we've been seeing is on the right side.
Yeah, and then they like spread out a little bit. They
spread out a bit, and we are just seeing Erwin, and then Erwin gets hit. Okay, so we don't really know. Obviously, if you saw all of those stones, right? Yeah. It would definitely probably hit someone else.
Oh my god,
definitely. Yeah. And Marlowe would have been right here.
I don't think it shows Marlowe getting hit.
Okay, no.
But who knows? All right, that's all I have.
Yeah, I think that is all I have as well.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. We're sent off with cheers.
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 We're sent off with cheers.